You got to ask yourself, Lord, why am I in this place right now? What are you doing to help me? Like, I need help right now, Jesus. And most people, sadly, don't think like that. Some people are so addicted to not working and just sitting around, where they get so addicted to just sitting around, where they don't want to get out of the house, where they don't want to move. It's not even a depressed thing. It's more of a thing where it's like, I'd rather just sit on my couch and not stress about nothing.
Let's get started.
Today we are going to talk about sins. Sins are not talked about enough in Christianity, and I am going to call out every Christian influencer that lied to you about sins, because it's not talked about enough. No, I'm just playing. In Christianity, it is talked about a lot. But I feel like a lot of us, majority of us, doesn't understand is like, why not do this sin? Well, one, it makes you into a better person. Two, Jesus did die on the cross for your sins. And three, sinning just makes you into a horrible person. And today we are going to talk about those reasons of how those sins make you into that bad person. And why I feel like, in a way, why stopping doing that sin is going to help you out in life. So first sin that we are going to talk about is, and I'm going off of the 7 deadly sins. I know I made a whole video about it. If you guys want to check it out, check it out. But again, this video is a little different. We're going to talk about why stopping this sin is going to help you be better. First sin we're going to talk about is greed. Greed is selfishness, like most of the time greed is about money, because let's be honest here, people are addicted to that, man. They are addicted to the money. And when you have more money, the more stuff you want in life. So when you kind of think to yourself, like, do I really need this amount of money? Do I really need this brand new car, this brand new house? Why don't you give your money more towards the church or more to charity? People spend money like crazy. People spend on themselves because they want themselves to even look better or feel better. But at the same time, when you even work for something and buy it, you feel good. But even you would feel even better if you give out your money and it helps out others. And you kind of think to yourself, like, dang, I helped somebody out today. That is why greed is a sin, because it makes you selfish. It makes you into an arrogant, self-ego person, addicted to the money. That's why you need to stop that sin. Nobody wants to be a greedy person. Nobody chooses to be selfish. It gets addicted to you. So, yeah, that's greed. We're going to talk about wrath. Me personally, especially in my teen years, I struggle with wrath. I grew up around fighting a lot. That was always the answer. It was arguing. I got to win the fight. Let me argue even louder. Let me do this and that. How do you help wrath? Because till this day, I still slip up. I call myself a Christian. I still slip up. And I get angry. And I start fighting with people. And I start trying to be louder than the person that I'm arguing with. Sometimes I make statements. Sometimes I jump into arguments even though I shouldn't even get into those arguments, but I choose to get into them. Why do we do that? Some of us just love to argue. Some of us likes to be angry. And it's crazy that you like to be angry. It's crazy you don't want joy in your life. It's crazy that you just want people to be mad at and you want to argue with them. I got coworkers that are like that, where they just want to argue because they're miserable in their own life. How do you stop being angry? How do you stop wrath? Mellow out. And no, I'm not talking about drugs. Absolutely not. I'm not talking about like, drink away your problems. Absolutely not. But think to yourself before saying. When you get angry at something, think about it like this. Me being angry at this certain situation, should I back out of it? Is this my argument? Is this my fight? Should I fight this? Should I yell at this person for doing whatever wrong when it's nothing to be worked up about? And sadly, some of us just get so much in our mind about stuff. We get so frustrated at things and people, or we take it out on others that don't even deserve it. And that's sad for us humans that we do that. Um, I think me personally, I think you do kind of sometimes should have the right, especially if you're a parent, the approach to yell. Not how do I explain it? Like not really yelling at your kids for no reason, but give your kids the reason. Why are you mad at them? Why shouldn't they do what you don't want them to do? Instead of just saying because I said so, because I told you not to. Give out the reason. Kids deserve reasons too. They're just gonna think, oh, my mom and dad are always mad. They are always yelling and stuff like that. Also, too, especially when you're married and stuff like that, wrath is a very big, big, big sin for a lot of divorce rates. Because you guys love to be angry, you love to fight at each other, and again, you don't know how much that affects the kid when he gets older. So work on that. Before even getting in a relationship, or even if you are in one, work on that so you don't ruin your own relationship because of that, because you can't handle wrath. It's a very dangerous sin. Again, until today I still struggle with it. Especially in my teen years. I used to love to argue because that's all I really knew. You just constantly, like, how do I explain it? Constantly argue with people because you want to feel like the winner. But truthfully, you're losing people because you always want to argue with people. So I would work on that if I was you. Um, Another sin that a lot of people don't understand of why not to do is sloth. I think a lot of people should know about that you shouldn't do this sin, because it is a very true thing. The closer I am with Christianity, the more I notice sloth. The more I notice is how lazy people are. And sometimes you can be such a sloth where, because you're so depressed, because you're so down on yourself, because you're so like, I'm not where I wanted to be in life. Well, that's most people, and that's where you got to trust in the Lord, is like, you got to ask yourself, Lord, why am I in this place right now? What are you doing to help me? Like, I need help right now, Jesus. And most people, sadly, don't think like that. Some people are so addicted to not working and just sitting around, where they get so addicted to just sitting around, where they don't want to get out of the house, where they don't want to move. It's not even a depressed thing. It's more of a thing where it's like, I'd rather just sit on my couch and not stress about nothing and have other people work around my schedule, where I can just sit here and relax. Don't do that. Get up from the couch, work, grind, go to church every Sunday. Don't take breaks because you're too tired to go. Even too, you have to provide in this life. Again, I'm not saying like be addicted to money, be a workaholic, but you need to work, you need to provide, you need to get up from the couch. I know there is people in certain situations that they can't do that, but still getting out of the house helps you out a lot. Being a sloth is not a good thing. It also pushes people away because they look at it like, this person doesn't want to do anything all day. All they want to do is just sit around. Like, I want to go out. So again, sometimes going out and being active is nice. So yeah. Other sin that we are going to talk about is envy. Envy is a jealousy thing. A lot of people struggle with envy. Let's be honest here. We all get jealous. We're all human. That person gets that certain job position you're jealous of. That person is in a relationship you're jealous of. And so what do? You start talk smacking about that person. Why? Because you're jealous of them. You're envying them. You're letting that person in your head, dude. What helps you with envy? Honestly, think about it like this. Again, I always wanted a relationship, but even my friends agree with me though. I am never one to bash on people's relationships. I am never like, they ain't gonna make it 2 years. Look at them, all lovey-dovey, holding hands in the store. I'm never like that. I'm like, okay, nice, good for you. and stuff like that. Like, I support that stuff, dude. I support when my friends get in relationships, I let them do their thing. I'm not one to be like, you never hang out with me, yada, yada, yada. You pick a girl over you. I'd be like, I would do the same thing, dude. So when people like envy that, again, I always wanted a real relationship. Sadly, I never got that, hopefully yet, but still, I never got that, but I don't envy that. I don't be jealous of others. And how do I hold that in? Because I think to myself is I want that one day. So why am I gonna be mad at that person because they're in one? Like there is sometimes, where I don't get something and yeah, I get a little jealous, but I also think to myself, it's like, okay, but what's going on in their shoes, like job position wise? Somebody might get something that I wanted to work for or I was working for and they got it. But you also think to yourself, it's like, okay, but maybe they got 3 kids underneath their belt and they gotta pay it, and all I want is because that's cool position. You know what I mean? So you kind of got to think is like, let me put myself in their shoes real fast. Why are they getting that position? And sometimes, maybe people get something even though they don't deserve it, and yeah, you might get a little jealous, but you got to think about yourself. You're like, at least I still have a job. Some people get laid off. Some people get fired, or at least I still got a roof above my head when I get home. Think about your blessings in the end of the day. Envy is a very dangerous thing. You do not want to take it out on others in the end of the day. Lusting is a huge, huge, huge thing for lots of men, and I'm sure lots of women. But I'm going to talk about us men real fast. Lusting is a very dangerous thing, especially when you're in a relationship. It's especially if you're married, dude. When you're married, you should stick to that woman. Okay? You have eyes on her. It even says that in the Bible. It's very hard, when you have these temptations, you have these thoughts, especially if you were around in my age where certain things was very normalized, or sexual things was very normalized to me growing up, especially in high school. And so you go from people that lust is normalized to where you find out that it's not. It is kind of hard to control that mindset. Like, it's not okay. What's wrong about it? A lot of people wonder, because your mind isn't, what's the word, purity. Like, it's not innocent. It's running, these thoughts are running through your mind, and these thoughts can become your actions, and your actions can ruin certain people's relationships or other people's lives, or even your own relationship or life. So how do you stop lusting? Detox yourself. Detox yourself from social media. Detox yourself from watching what you watch. Detox yourself from listening to what you're listening, because that stuff gets in your mind. Especially too, somebody gave me pointers on this. When you're married, when you're out to eat and you're married, face away, face to the wall, basically. Make your face to face her where you're not seeing other people, so your eyes aren't moving around everywhere. That is actually a very good pointer, because your eyes are going to play tricks with you. The devil is going to play tricks with you. When it comes to when your wife is not around, just think of your wife even when she's not around. And yeah, so that goes out to the men. Lusting, again, it's very hard thing to get over, but my best option for you is just detox yourself from social media, from certain movies and shows that you watch or music that you listen to, because that stuff normalizes it. Another one we're gonna talk about is gluttony or gluttony. I think it's called gluttony. It's just constantly eating. You're making yourself like, you're trying to take the pain away, basically. It's I never thought it existed until I witnessed it myself. It is a very, very big thing. Why is it so bad? Because you're destroying your own body that Jesus made for you. You're not staying active. It's kind of like sloth in a way, but a little different. But yeah, you're trying to take the pain away. How you should take the pain away is towards praying, not towards eating. Um, yeah, you get so addicted to it. How do you stop it? Make yourself on a budget, basically. Tell yourself, like, okay, so I know this is going to sound crazy, but say you have 5 meals a day, make it minimum of 3 or 2, you know, cut off the snacks. When you go out to eat, just order yourself just a portion. Don't order yourself an appetizer. Just a main course. Maybe just get a salad. Maybe start changing up your diet. That's the best option I can say. I never really struggled with gluttony, so I can't say much about that one. Last one we're going to talk about is prideful. Prideful is a very big egotistic thing. Sadly, this world has a whole month for it. Again, in the Bible, it says, "Thou shalt not be prideful." Prideful is a selfish thing that you can do. You're egotistic on it. Being pride is cockiness. It makes other people feel down on themselves. It's prideful is a bad thing. How do you stop it? Start caring about others, start working as a team, stop being so selfish. Stop being so egotistic where I did this and I did that. Start being we did this. That's the best thing I can say about that one. Again, I never really struggled with that one either, I feel like. Actually, sometimes maybe in high school. I was a little like, yeah, my YouTube channel, because that was pretty prideful, I'll say. Yeah, you don't have that many subscribers like I do. You don't have that many views like I do. Like, yeah. I'll admit it. Sometimes that stuff does get to your head, but think about it. Be humble. That's the best option you can be for that sin. Be humble. But yeah, thank you guys for listening, and thanks for trying to understand with me on these sins. I'm still new to this journey, so follow me. So I'll see you guys later.